you need to have the right people in place that they think and act like you.
Hi, I'm Natasha Gillis, and here's a little secret. One of my favorite things to do is drive around town and proudly point out each dental practice my firm has helped grow. Because behind every practice is a real story of grit, vision, and entrepreneurship. On this podcast, you'll hear those real stories straight from the dentists who dared to build something of their own. So tune in, get inspired, and remember, your practice is my passion. We are here today with Dr. Ghatri with an amazing brand, Let's Smile. I love your brand, Dr. Ghatri. I see that you have 8 offices now.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for having me. It's very exciting to be part of your team.
Oh, my pleasure. And I'm very excited to have you here.
Sure.
So Dr. Ghatri, tell us about your orthodontic journey. What drove you into dentistry to begin with?
It's funny you say it's a long story. I'm going to make it as short as possible.
Fair enough.
When I grew up in high school, it was a math and physics major, and I wanted to be an engineer. Growing up in Iran, the revolution happened, and when I finished my military service during the war, one of my father's friends, who knew me really well, was a successful businessman, asked me to go to his house and said, "What's your plan?" I said, "I'm going to go to the United States and study engineering. I like arts and I like engineering, and I think that's what I'm going to do." Then he said, knowing you like to have your own company, your own freedom, you make the calls. You become an engineer in the United States, you're not going to go and open your engineering firm. You got to work for somebody. Then one day you're going to say, "Why did you come late? Why did you leave early? Why didn't you shave? Where's your tie?" You're going to be limited. I'm like, what should I do now? So we'll go become a dentist. And I said, "Dentist, I don't want to do anything like, that's not exciting for me. I'm artistic. So we'll become an orthodontist." And I said, "Yeah, that makes sense." So in like 1 hour, I changed from north to south. That's how I came to the United States and studied to become a dentist, orthodontist. And that was my journey.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't even like biology, didn't like memorization, but I made it happen.
That's incredible. So many people that we've sat across the table from, I asked them, "Tell me about what made you aspire to be a dentist." And the story is usually, "Oh, my parents," or, "Oh, I always wanted to go into something medical." For you, it's like, "Listen, I just decided this is the path I'm going to take." The end. And that's amazing, because here you are now, 8 offices.
Yes.
That's incredible.
It's been a long work, but and a lot of work. But thanks to the people who have always helped me, my managers, my team, the clinicians, the administrative team, and then recently my son who joined me after he finished his MBA, that kind of like put me more at ease to expand. So he's doing a lot on the financial and legal ends, and then gives me the freedom to concentrate on the clinical
business.
Yes.
And that's something you said that was really compelling, is you were talking to a family friend who was a businessman. So when we talk about the practice of dentistry, I often realize a lot of our clients and colleagues are really focused on the patient, and it's important to talk about the quality of the work that's provided, but people don't always think about, well, how do I treat this also as its own venture, its own business?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit, because I know the teaser alert, and I'm excited to explore this, your journey when you finally were starting to get to dental school. What type of work did you do? Did you shadow a dentist, or did you just take on odd jobs? How did you get through dental school?
Well, I was in Miami when I went to community college, and because I had come to the United States a little later in life, like I was 22 when I started my first day of college. Wow. So I had lost 4 years in the Iranian military, the war, all that stuff that was happening, revolution. Yes. So I was anxious to get done. I wanted to make it happen. So when I was in a community college, my focus was to go to dental school. So I took courses like 22 credits per year, per semester. And then I had to also work because during the revolution, everything we had was confiscated because of my dad's background during the Shah's regime and all that. So I couldn't rely on him to send me money, and the dollar was raising like by the minutes. So I was working almost full time at nights in restaurants or bars, nightclubs. And then I would come home around 3 o'clock, either study or sleep 2, 3 hours, go back to school. That was my life, like 2 years of really focused work, school, work, school. I was in Miami, maybe I'd gone to the beach 3 times.
Wow.
In 2 years as a 22-year-old,
That's incredible.
And but I was very focused. I had a mission, and then I happened to get married right in that mix.
Happened. Just,
Yeah, I met the right person at the right time, I would say.
Yes.
Because when you are so focused with school and work, you don't explore, social life. And in Miami, it's very tough. All my friends are going, Ali, let's go. I have to study. I have to go to work. So my wife, Barisa, came to my life at the right time that that needed that person to be in my life.
And you guys were still in your 20s, is that right?
Yes, she was 20 years old. I was 23 when we met.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then you guys had what, 2 kids?
Yes, we got married there, and then the following year I got accepted to dental school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, after we got married, 6 months, 7 months later, I went to dental school. And then I had to work there too. And she was working. Because of me, she put the school aside to help me out. So then 2 years later, my son was born.
Oh my goodness.
In the middle of dental school. So I'm working, I'm at school, and I'm watching the kid.
That's incredible.
Yes, so and then I went to orthodontic school after that. And it was like all work, all school. Even when I was in orthodontic school, I was working as a dentist now, on Fridays, on Saturdays.
That's incredible.
Yeah, life, that was my mission, that was my plan, so
there you go. You
I
just said,
saluted.
I'm doing
Yes,
it. I'm getting it
exactly.
done.
Yeah.
So in that timeline, when did you approximately first come to open your first office?
When I finished my orthodontic school, like towards the end, I met a company that was a kind of like a DSO of back then. Not to that level, but I met them and they were instrumental in me opening practices. So I opened 3 practices on my first year.
That's incredible.
Yes, and then that plan started. A few years down the road, that company went out of business, so I acquired my own. And then I started expanding. Part of my personality is I'm very observant. I look at everything around me, nature, people, businesses. I try to learn from what I see, what I hear. And I noticed that in medicine, a lot of mergers are happening. Like, the cardiologists are joining forces, the East, the North, the South, of Washington, D.C. area. They're coming together because the cost of business is going up. The number of patients, insurance is very pressuring to keep the low, compensation. And I saw like urology teams, nephrology teams. They're all like, in Bowie, Maryland, and Fairfax, and Woodbridge. They all joining forces.
Yes, group practices.
And yes. So when I saw that, I said, okay, I bet you this is going to happen to dentistry as well. Yes. So I started thinking, okay, as an orthodontist who always relies on referrals from general dentists or pediatric dentists, what should I do to keep my independence? So I started talking to bring pediatric dentists to my office, but I didn't know anything about it.
Yes.
That's how I met my first partner, Dr. Nada Kalantar.
Oh,
yes.
That's amazing.
Yes, and she joined me and we opened a practice in Reston. Yeah. So I learned alongside with her about pediatric dentistry. And this has been, what, almost 19 years now.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So,
I didn't know you guys had a history like that.
oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, she was still in residency when we met. And then now we are like brother sisters, you know. Her family is like my family. We travel together and stuff. So it's been a very great journey.
That's incredible. So, Dr. Ghatri, you are a wealth of knowledge on the business side. And this is a loaded question, but how do you see, and this is kind of a unique situation because it's dentistry, how do you see dentistry as a business? Where do you think people are missing that connection? Because again, a lot of times our docs are always focusing on running their practice, growing their practice. Is it that they don't understand how to scale? Where are the misses, do you think, if you could mentor someone to how to become a business as opposed to just a practice?
It's a very, as you said, it's a very like multifaceted situation, because it's not only, hey, I have the money, let me put another center here, another center there, because it comes with training and all that stuff. But up to 2 offices is very manageable for one doctor. You know, you go to this office, you go to this office, you have control. Your personality and your mission is under your control to make sure that it stays the same. As soon as you start going to 3rd and 4th offices, you need to have the right people in place that they think and act like you. If you are a forgiving, kind person, you cannot have a, tough, manager to rub people the wrong way, because they're used to you. So you need to train them to be somewhat in your methodology of dealing with people, with patients, running the practice. That part is the most crucial part in expansion. And it's not only like, you got to have the insurance person, you got to have the marketing person, you got to have the, HR person. So all of a sudden, you open a practice, you make X money. You open the second one, you make X plus Y money. You open the third one, then it's X plus Y minus Z, because you have to put all these expensive people for years. Find them, train them, put them in place, take care of them so they don't go. So then your money, your income is going to go down. So you got to have the backbone to withstand that.
Yes.
Then when that team, that core management team is in place, then you can go to the 4th one, 5th one. And as it gets bigger, then this thing becomes, then you got to have a regional manager, then you got to have a departmental manager, somebody who takes care of ortho, somebody who takes care of pedo, somebody who takes care of oral surgery. So you see, it becomes all of a sudden not as fun as dentistry or orthodontics or, our what we really love about our work is. Then it becomes a very serious, involved business transaction that you need to wear 2 hats constantly.
In your case, it's 3 because you're still seeing patients.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
That's incredible. So how do you have time to treat your patients and oversee everybody?
Yes.
It's incredible.
That part of it is the fun part that gives me motivation, that gives me the energy to do the other things. Of course, the business is exciting and all that, but it has a lot of challenges and headaches, and it's constantly come up with situation to fix situations.
Yes.
But seeing the patient, that just gives me that calm, that fun, excitement to keep me going on the other venues.
So what are some of your favorite types of cases? Do you like the cases where you're making an impact, for instance, on a child, or do you like the more complex cases? What's your niche, essentially? Because you've been doing this for so long.
Yeah, 30 years. It's been a long time. Yes, I can't say niche because since I started, I had adults and children, complex cases and easy cases. But what I can tell you in the past 7, 8, 10 years, I have done 2 things that is kind of like made me for myself, not in the community or in the world or anything. For myself, I've kind of like feel proud, is that I have incorporated aligner technology in most patients, like very difficult cases, children as young as 7 up to whatever adult age, using Invisalign. And that has allowed me to find ways not to extract adult teeth, like premolars, that which is very common among orthodontists.
I had two
So,
of mine pulled.
yeah,
Yeah, back in the day.
believe me, like young doctors who are graduating come to my office to shadow, and I show them cases. How do you do it? Like I show them cases that they also extract 2 premolars or 4 premolars, and I show them that I didn't use any extractions, and the results are as close as fantastic. They're like, "How did you do that?" That's the niche that I'm gonna probably mention it, because everybody uses braces, everybody uses Invisalign. A lot of people are good with multidisciplinary cases, difficult cases. I love them all. It's the more challenging, the more fun it is. But doing a case that you don't extract teeth, that's what I'm proud of.
That's amazing. I wish
you.
I would have been around at the same time that you were and our paths met, because I had both of my, I think it was bicuspids,
Bicuspids.
pulled
Yeah.
at the age of 7 or 8.
Oh, wow.
And then, of course, wisdom teeth is different, but the whole orthodontic process was painful.
Mm.
And it was scary because the doctor kept saying your jaw is too crowded, or your jaw is too small for your teeth.
Yes.
And they had the expander on the roof, and they had the eventually the permanent retainer on the bottom. It just felt like a disaster. And so I didn't see a dentist essentially in high school because it was just too much.
Yes.
Until college, and I said, hey, my teeth are shifting again. So I saw another doctor, and she did Invisalign. But her philosophy was, we need to shave your teeth. And I'm hearing that's not.
I used to, at the very beginning, like 20-some years ago,
Yes.
I used to do a lot of shaving, but like right now, barely. When I get my Invisalign, setup from the technicians, even though they know I don't like to do too much, I still see some, depends on who the technician is, maybe doesn't know my preferences. When send it to me, I said, okay, go back to my preferences. This is what I want. I want to do expansion or distalization or whatever that the case requires to reduce even IPR, which is stripping, to reduce stripping, because even that, if I can avoid it, it's better for the patient, it's better for the team, it's better for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how do you keep people's teeth from shifting after the fact? If you
that's
could go
a
back in
retainer.
time and tell me how to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Just with retaining. You see, it's funny that, a lot of patients, adult patients, come to me and say, I have a night guard because I sleep with them better. So, okay, just wear the retainer because you will sleep with them better. It's just like a night guard. And when it becomes part of your habits, like if you floss at night, if you brush at night, and just put the retainers in your mouth, if it becomes part of your lifestyle, then it's part of your lifestyle. If you don't have any, like if I don't floss at night, I feel something is like, even if I'm super tired coming from a wedding or something, I have to floss my teeth because otherwise I feel uneasy going to bed. When the retainer wear becomes that important to you, then you never want to go to bed without them. I think that's the best way. Some patients ask for permanent retainers, just like you say, if you have one. It's good. I don't like it because it accumulates plaque. It restricts you what you bite into and all that stuff. Then it breaks. You got to go get it fixed. But if you learn to wear the retainer, which protects your teeth from grinding, at night, some people do grind, that protects your teeth and also saves your teeth from shifting. Why not? I do it every night. My wife does it. My kids are adult, they do it.
I can only imagine your household. You're probably looking at everybody. Are you wearing a retainer?
I used to. Now they know they have to do it because they have to come back and straighten out everything with Invisalign or something.
Did your kids need work, by the way?
Oh yeah, they all had it.
Did they see dad to get it fixed?
Absolutely.
Do you find that as a parent, it's harder to...
Not at all.
No?
No.
Really? That's
I'm
incredible.
very easygoing. She's a patient just like other patients.
That's incredible.
Actually, most of my patients, I look at them as my family. So it's like, if I'm working on your daughter, I feel like I'm working on my daughter. That kind of attention and focus I have on all my patients. So,
do you have any patients that come back to see you?
oh yeah,
In a good way, a happy way.
I have grandmothers who are bringing their grandchildren to me. Now I'm 30 years. There's somebody who was 20 years old, or when I treated them, now they're 50 years old. Their kids are 30 years old, and then their grandchildren are 10 years old. The health matters, whether it's periodontal, decays, bone loss, whatever the situation is. I always put health of the teeth ahead of the alignment. They have to take care of that. Then they come to me and I restore their function and aesthetics. Definitely the health matters, whether it's periodontal, decays, bone loss, whatever the situation is. I always put health of the teeth ahead of the alignment. They have to take care of that. Then they come to me and I restore their function and aesthetics.
Have you ever had a case where a patient just is not a candidate for cosmetic work because they have such serious underlying?
Absolutely, yes. I had to send some people and say, look, you just have too much, for example, bone loss, that, or short roots, that if I do more treatment, it will cause more damage.
So that's the next question. When you think of Invisalign, it seems like such a gentle, kind of, cosmetic. We saw the outcome with a lot of marketing. We had the mailers where they were trying to get people to do the scans. We'll mail you the Invisalign. We won't mention names. But what's the significance of getting Invisalign or even just orthodontic treatment when a doctor really doesn't know what they're doing? How can it negatively and permanently impact the patient?
If the doctor doesn't know what he's doing?
If they're just saying,
if they're not, yeah, oh yeah, I see that a lot. Yes, if they're not, exactly.
Yes.
Orthodontics is a serious field. That's why we go nowadays, the schools are, almost every school is 3 years of training. Dentistry is 4 years. And then 3 years after that, you go to orthodontics. I mean, for easier cases, of course, any dentist, the licenses allow it. And for easy cases, things can be corrected. But when it becomes to correcting the bite because of class 2, class 3 situations, or more medium to complex cases, in my opinion, you cannot rely on the technician to dictate the treatment or some computer algorithm to say, okay, widen, move this, move that. When I sit down and do my treatment for Invisalign, for example, I have to dictate every single attachment on the teeth that I want. It's that important. Which teeth need to be moved first, then second, then third. Flare the teeth, then intrude. I don't say just correct the deep bite. That brings accuracy, shorter treatment, more focused, wet agenda. When you throw in some aligners that computer designed or a technician who doesn't know orthodontics design the treatment for you, God knows what happens. And I see them in my office. Patients go to either some general dentists who don't have enough experience, or they do this mailer.
Yes.
Actually, on Monday, I had a patient, a young lady, late 20s, came to me and said, I use this company and look at my teeth. So I had to treat her. This type of focused treatment planning is very crucial to do the job right. And that's how doctors will be different. doctors that just go there to take care of, or I didn't want to say it,
Yes.
or doctors who really pay attention to what the right pathway is to get. And it could be in medicine, in dentistry, in periodontics, everything. That focus, that knowledge, using it in a purposeful treatment planning and following the treatment planning to see what happens. I see a bunch of webinars that, hey, Invisalign, you use this, and then see the patient every 9 months, have them take pictures of them and your teeth, and you can see the progress, the algorithm, the computers, the scanner, the AI now tells the patient if you're wearing enough or not. Yes, these are all good tools, but they don't replace the doctor and what the doctor can see and the communication the doctor with the patient has to encourage the patient to do the right thing, to wear the aligners, to wear the rubber bands, to keep the teeth clean. All of these things matter. So I'm not going to fall to just let technology take and I just pack the money.
Yes,
You have to do the work for it.
That's interesting. It's so intricate,
Very intricate, yeah.
I didn't know that you have to actually decide all these things and then tell the tech how to implement the plastic.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Even though I do, 2-3 times I go back and forth until I get it right.
Wow.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen with one shot.
So really, that's just technology assisting your direction. You tell it what to do and they chop it up and create it. It's not the other way around.
No. It's designed for a lot of people the other way around. It's designed to do that. Because I was with Invisalign part of a program that they wanted to know how to correct deep bite, how to correct crowding, how to correct class 2, how to correct XYZ. And I sat with their technicians for months. It took like 9 months of back and forth testing to say, okay, if you have a particular case, how it should be treated or treatment planned for the treatment to go well. So they came up with a very good program. Now they're using that even for my cases. So I send my case, I don't have to type in everything. When it comes back, it's 80% correct. I still have to go and correct it. So what do? They use this 9 months of my expertise, giving them the information. Now they go to the general dentist who don't have that much experience and say, look, we have these.
We created this plan for
Bravo.
you.
So just send us your scan, and they use not only me, I'm sure there are other orthodontists who were in this program.
Correct.
So we help them come up with best practices, programs for various type of malocclusion. But still, when it comes back, you got to have the eye to see the mistakes because a computer is doing that. They can't be the doctor. Every case is different.
That's incredible.
I still go back and forth and correct it, but then at least the people who don't have that much experience, they get a higher level of planning, which they can build upon rather than something that a technician somewhere in Costa Rica was doing.
Wow. I never knew that. So thank you for educating me because if I didn't know that, chances are a lot of patients don't know that. So now this makes sense. Something as simple as Invisalign, something as simple as aligning your teeth, why you want to seek out a experienced ortho and not just the GP.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are GPs who do great work.
Sure.
But you got to look at
for the more complex stuff.
Overall, like there are orthodontists who may not do as good a job as a dentist does,
Right.
But yes, you need to do your research to find the right person, especially when you have a more complex case.
Understood. Well, Dr. Ghatri, I'm not going to keep you from your patients
Oh,
because
no
I don't want an
problem.
angry phone call. Where's my doctor? But thank you so much. You are a wealth of knowledge.
Thank
Where
you.
can we follow you? Is it Let's Smile? Is it
Let's Smile.
at
Let'ssmile.com.
Let's
Or
Smile.
if
The
Instagram
handles.
stuff. Yes,
We're
yes.
Social media day.
I don't know any of that stuff.
At Let's
I relate
Smile.
to young people
Yes.
too. But yeah, whatever, Let's Smile,
That's
you'll find us.
wonderful. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow and share this podcast with a friend in dentistry. And if you're ready to take the next step in your own entrepreneurial journey, connect with me. I'd love to make your vision a reality. Until next time, keep building, keep growing, and keep practicing your passion.